Hello, 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 my beautiful friends. This is Lorelei Fenton coming at you today. And I am your roving Ancient Awakenings reporter. And in my private life, I'm called the Feel-Good Guru because as a transformational personal growth and spiritual coach, I help people feel great and to heal their hearts and to get rid of whatever's in the way of loving their lives. So we're talking today about the channeling on November 4th, 2018, where we were visited by Commander Aramda, who's the commander of the Galactic Ship the Amalia. And the Galactics, of course, are hugely supporting us in raising this planet and the vibrations to the fifth dimension, which is what they call that particular raise. So after Commander Aramda, we were then visited by one of the individuals who's known collectively as One Who Serves. And he answered our questions. Now, One Who Serves is a kind of a collective of several individuals, and they don't use their past earthly names in order to highlight the fact that we are all one. But some of them are pretty well known, we found out recently, at least one of them anyway. So the theme here today, to me, seemed to be know your power. So I have a globe here. There it is. There's my globe. I have to move it around so the camera picks it up. Now, you might know that the center of gravity on Earth is not actually the center of the Earth. And we've been told that this is because many eons ago, there was a war in space. And the result was that it literally knocked the Earth right off its axis. So I say, if we human beings are that powerful that we can knock the Earth off its axis, or we beings, I should say, we can now knock it right back again, right? Metaphorically speaking, with our amazing ascension of all humans here on this Earth. And that is literally going to create a whole new Earth. So, one more swirl of that. So all of these messages, by the way, are channeled through James McConnell, a 25-year veteran in the channeling world who was trained directly by the Ascended Masters. And we also often get poignant messages from the higher self of Joanna McConnell. And that higher self is known as Shoshana. And those messages are really quite profound. So Commander Aramda began by telling us that the ships surrounding the planet are preparing for their shift occurring right now. And the expedition or the mission that we as a group recently accomplished was successful, as he put it, beyond words. And that means, by the way, everyone who went and everyone who supported that, even by being part of this group. Now, I can't go into great detail about that mission for those who are not a part of the group, but it was a success. And that success is a result of all of us persevering. And meaning not just on this journey as a group, but even all of mankind persevering on this journey that we all volunteered for. So many left this earth in the ships eons ago, this is what Aramda tells us, with a promise to return and to help form the golden age of Gaia. And that's happening now. Woo! And many of us on the call, this call that we have, we're on those ships. And many of us here now also volunteer to stay here and to move through the travails and the hurdles to create a path, so to speak, for others to follow. And we did it, and we're still doing it, along with those who have now returned in the physical from having left. But what occurred over that last weekend, he says, is beyond explanation, and its enormity is actually beyond our 3D comprehension. So the energy of the Christ consciousness has been released, not just to the planet, but to all planets in the solar system, and even the whole galaxy. So just as the galaxy and the planets were called on by us to protect this energy many, many eons ago until it could once again be released, so it has now been released. And it is a time to celebrate. And they, meaning our galactic brothers and sisters, they say they stand in awe and gratitude of all that we've accomplished through the many calamities and catastrophes and obstacles and lifetimes. That's pretty profound, huh? So we always knew, by the way, we're told that we would finally come to where we are now, to the end of the journey that we volunteered for. And for some of us, this is going to soon be a new beginning, perhaps on other planets or in other galaxies, to, believe it or not, do it all again, right? Because that's what we do. But we were never alone any of the time, because they were always with us, whether we saw them or not. And Aramda said that when we meet again, they never want us to kneel or supplicate ourselves to them. We are not to do that, we're told. And he says it's actually the other way around. It's kind of like in Lord of the Rings, when everyone bowed to the new king, and that king went up to the hobbits who had actually saved the world. And he said, "My friends, you bow to no one. It is us that bow to you." Woo! Wow. I mean, that actually just, I'm telling you, it brings goosebumps to my arms. Isn't that amazing? So then Aramda said that what we accomplished will bring unbelievable changes. And we have not even begun to see the ramifications of that yet. It is reverberating through the whole galaxy. And millions of ships are here to see this crescendo, if you will. And this has certainly hastened that thing which we call the event. And then Aramda left us with peace and love and harmony and oneness and his gratitude. And he advised us to also feel gratitude for ourselves and what we're all about. Woo! What beautiful and loving and acknowledging words. I don't know about you, but I remember some of my lives, and I can tell you, the ones I remember were not a whole lot of fun. And that includes this one for many of the earlier years, until I actually learned how to transform my life and help others in that process. So thank you, dear brother Aramda. I know you see us and hear us. Thank you for really seeing and acknowledging us. So then came one who serves, and he was Om Padme Oming his way right into our hearts and ready to answer our questions. And he said that there will be other parts of our recent journey and mission that will be done in the future. But for now, job well done. And he said, it's now time to sit back on our laurels for a bit and kind of savor the flavor. And we will be back to work at the advance in ways that even James has no idea of. So we're told to fasten those seatbelts and get ready and prepare for the ride of our lives. And by that, he means not just the advance, but this whole process called ascension that we're fully going through now. So here we go. Put those seatbelts on. Have you heard, by the way, about CMEs and solar flares? Because our first caller wanted to know if the recent ones, the CMEs recently released, had anything to do with the energy we released. And one who serves said that most definitely all is being orchestrated, and one thing leads to another, and this release was a catalyst. And we should know that we're not the only ones releasing this energy we just released on the planet. There are other groups doing this all over the planet. So we're all, in a sense, working together. And as this Christ conscious energy is released in many different parts of the world, it moves to connect not only the Christ consciousness grid, but the crystalline grid, which is tied into the various ley line connections across the planet. And I'm going to also interject that we have heard in the past that these grids have been broken and disabled for many eons. And this is one reason why humanity actually descended so far into this sort of darkness. So pat yourselves on the back and say, good job, me. So our next caller wanted to know if there might be any similar expeditions happening in England that she could assist in this process, since that's where she lives. And she was told that any groups in England would probably be more from the Atlantean heritage instead of the Lemurian one, because England was closer to Atlantis, as was Europe, Africa, the Middle East, China, and Egypt. And she was told that she should lend her efforts to wherever and whatever group she's called to. And she was told to trust that she will be guided. Our group, by the way, may also be called upon and guided to help other groups as well, since we've actually done this and found the secret, so to speak. And so perhaps this caller may be called to be a part of that as well. But then Sister Shoshana popped in to say that it's important in this moment for this caller to acknowledge her power and who she is and the great light in her heart and her part of this process. She is a priestess, we're told, with that kind of power. And it's not necessary to join some expedition, but to acknowledge herself and let her light out, which will surely change the path of mankind. And I'm pretty sure that Shoshana was speaking to many of us as well with that. It's acknowledging our power. And then it was acknowledged that we do not have to be in the physical space of, say, some sacred site in order to impact it. We can impact anything right from where we are now. Hallelujah to that. Woo! Then one of our callers had a question about why she was seeing herself in kind of queenly clothes in this meditation as she went out through her third eye. And there was even a communication from that self, if you will, that queenly self. And she saw blue light and the Merkaba, and she wanted to know about that. So one who serves told her that the answer to her question, first of all, is for everyone and not just for her. Because we are all going to begin to have experiences that are part of being connected to the whole of what's happening here. Because where we go one, where we go all. Where we go one, we go all, as that saying goes. And we are part of the unity consciousness of light workers and light warriors and all of mankind here, and even Gaia herself. So apparently, this was some kind of expression of that collective consciousness that we're all tapped into. So, have you by chance heard of the firmament that the earth once had and how it had been destroyed? One of our callers had read in some book that the destruction of the firmament was a big reason why Gaia was having trouble actually being the kind of Eden that she once had been. So she wanted to know if the restoration of the firmament was going to happen. And to that, one who serves said, it's not only going to happen, but it is happening as we speak. Because this firmament was an expression of Gaia. And it filtered out any negative kind of energy that was coming into the planet in terms of our duality. So the restoration of this will greatly help to eliminate the negative aspects of duality. And you know, duality has some very profound, wonderful, positive aspects, and also the negative ones. So one who serves also then said that the idea of global warming is in fact a fallacy created by man. There is warming, but not for the reasons we've been told, because it's a balancing of the planet. And when the firmament is restored, we're actually going to have balmy weather everywhere, except perhaps in a few places where we may wish to do some winter sports or such things. And so, because of that, we may create that. But it's not, it doesn't have to be, it's created. So then, our last caller said that she had put an amethyst that she was given in her pocket during this particular trip. And she had also called on Saint Germain and the violet flame at one point during the trip. So she wanted to know, and it wasn't specifically for that, by the way, that she called on them, but she wanted to know, was this calling on Saint Germain and the violet flame connected to the fact that the pain in her hip had also gone away? And One Who Serves said certainly it was connected. Saint Germain was a part of the entire journey, though he did not speak through James. But the violet flame was very involved, violet flame, as were the Ascended Masters and the Galactics and the Garthans and a whole bunch of other fans out there. They were all watching, observing, encouraging, and guiding, and nudging here and there to bring us to that particular conclusion. So then this caller continued to probe as to whether the violet flame was the exact reason. And One Who Serves kept asking her, do you think it was? Why? Because, of course, believing is seeing. And then the caller said, yes, she thought it was. And then Shoshana popped in to say that it's important for each being on this earth to be vigilant, emotionally, physically, and mentally, and to focus on what we wish to create. This will create it. And it's not the Ascended Masters that heal us. You see, they just give us hope and faith so that we can heal us. Wow, profound, huh? And to continue healing, Shoshana said, we must each be vigilant in our thoughts and actions and deeds, and incorporate that vigilance into our lives, moment by moment. And in other words, we have to stop questioning and thinking of what we don't want and start having faith and thinking of what we do want. And then One Who Serves closed the channeling by saying to keep our purpose, at least our purpose for the moment, in the forefront of our minds, and to work toward that. And if we persevere and move through the obstacles moment by moment by moment, whatever's that immediate thing right there in front of us, and be in that moment instead of looking for the future, we then bring the future we want to us. Boy, does that resonate. You know, we light warriors are no longer waiting for anything out there to come to us, but we're bringing it to us, moment by moment by moment. And we're that powerful. So with that, I also will leave you, sending you peace, love, bliss, fun, play, ease, and the delirious joy, the profound joy of being alive. God bless you, my brothers and sisters. Namaste.